Always make sure first that you've shaken your ink up pretty well. The pigments will get stuck on the bottom and you won't have good ink. For those who have noticed that Freecode has several different pens and are trying to decide between the 901, which is absolutely beautiful, its detailed nib and beautiful look, or the 508, which is much thinner and has a far more traditional modern pen look. I wanted to show that, first of all, the 508, yeah, it is much thinner, and it has these lovely little flat parts here for your fingers to rest on. So it feels very comfortable to write with all around. Let me get those out of the way. Now, another difference is, aside from the thickness, the way the ink goes in. I really do like the way the 901 puts the ink in because it's a screw top, so you just simply screw up to put the ink in. Get it. And pop that into place. Whereas with the 508, it's not really difficult, but I just like the screw much better. It has this little piece here where you lift up and down. Sometimes I like to get a little bit of water to loosen ink. I think sometimes my ink is just a little too thick for the pens. Okay, that one's warmed up. Now I have the 901 working. It took a lot. I had to try and spread the nibs just a bit because they were tight, and then I had to soak the tip in water for a little bit. And I really do think possibly the problem is that my ink is just a little too thick. There is that possibility. So, this isn't the first time I've had this problem. Start looking for ink. Okay, so here is the 901. Also, when you are not in use, you should always put the cap on to keep the ink from drying out, or again, you're going to have to warm up your pen all over again. Set the nib in water if that happens. Loosen it up. So here is the 508 writing. So I think the 508 is a much finer pen. Even though they both have the same size nib, it seems to write much finer. I think it writes more fluidly. I like the way it feels balanced in the hand. I do like this one a lot. The 901, it's just an absolutely gorgeous pen, and the look of it is amazing. So for that reason, I like this one. But as far as day-to-day writing, definitely the 508. It feels more comfortable, it writes more fluidly, it has a tighter lettering. Definitely. So I hope that helps you decide which one you want to go with for your writing needs. So far, I have bought one of these Freecode fountain pens for my daughter. I got Grandma to buy one for my son for Christmas, and I bought myself this one. I think it's just great because not only does it just feel right when you're writing with a fountain pen, it feels right. But There's also the fact that you are no longer throwing those disposals into the waste or even into recycling to have more chemicals break it down and bring it back into another product. It's still, even recycling, if you can reduce even that, is better for the environment. But because you are constantly refilling this is your pen for life. It's wonderful. So find one that fits you, that feels right, and right on. Did want to show real quick, the caps do, in fact, fit on the back, just in case anybody were to ask that. They fit on the back, and whenever you're done, of course, recap it to keep the ink from drying out. Sadly, I bought cheap ink. I'm going to have to remedy that, but in the meantime, because it does dry out quite quickly, so when I come back to use it again, oftentimes I'll just get dry scratches. Once I get it going, it just writes and writes and writes forever. But if I've left it to sit, the ink will dry out a bit. So I have to dip it just really quick in water, and then it just starts writing fluidly again. It just sort of moisturizes that section that got dried out with the ink. So buy quality ink, or get used to just giving it a little dip each time you start using it again. All right, I hope this helped a lot.